Hello, and welcome to my little victory garden. I want to talk to you about my Louisiana plant haul today. We just got back from Easter, and I'm telling you, the plants in Louisiana are cheaper than the plants up here in North Texas. But it might just be because I got a lot of this stuff on sale. So what they're marked at is not what I paid. Like, the marigolds were $1. These were not all mine. Some of these are my wife's, so all the stuff that's going up front is hers. All the stuff going back here are mine. So these are mine. All of those are hers. My tomatoes had suffered a bit, and I really was not very successful in getting the peppers I particularly wanted started from seed. So I got myself some 6-pack of bell peppers and 6-pack of jalapenos. I'll probably be gifting some of those. And then I got a pair of marigolds. I've thrown marigold seeds out in the yard, but I haven't seen anything yet. And then I got some more lavender. I'm not sure what variety is, but it was advertised as a culinary variety. My wife's things, she picked up some dahlias. These are all going in the front yard. We've got some Asian jasmine that's going to go in that hell strip that we don't like mowing. She's got some sort of succulent thing here going. A prime purple calancho. I'm not sure what that is. That we're probably going to put in a pot because it's going to need to come in the winter. We got some begonias. I said these were all like $1 a piece. They were on sale. And the 6-packs I got for like $5.50 or something like that each. And I got Creole tomatoes. I only had one of my Creole tomatoes survive the freeze. I now have more than I can possibly plant, but I want to try to get as many in the ground as I can. Now for my free plants. This is transcendencia or spiderwort. This clump puts on pink flowers, and this clump puts on purple flowers. I wasn't sure where I wanted them, so I just stuck them in a pot. I also got 2 paper white bulbs, and these were dug up from my wife's aunt's yard. She has an interesting collection of irises as well, and if I can ever see them bloom, I'd pick which ones I wanted to bring home. I do have one mystery one. I was hoping it would bloom this year, but my wife got it with a weed eater, kind of like she did my amaryllis the last few years. But so those I need to figure out where they're going to go. Actually, I kind of want them to go in the new rain garden, which we're not going to start on for another 2 weeks. So in the pot they are. My next thing is, well, you see the peas died while we were gone, and it rained. So this should not be a lack of water situation, but these things are dry, even though we had 3 days of rain. I'm just tired of dealing with them. I know someone I'm going to sell them to. I will take out the things that are thriving, which are all in the top here. I've got catmint here. I seem to have a potato coming out here. A few lettuces that I'll just go ahead and harvest. And everything's been kind of stunted. These things have been in there forever. And of course the peas are just all gonna go bye-bye. And I'll probably try to transplant the parsley, even though it is so stunted in here. And the hyssop. And we'll see what happens. So this was ginger mint last year. This year it is a very strong smelling spearmint. So I'm a little sad about that because I really loved the smell of that ginger mint. Oh, another one of my wife's plant purchases. You know, if y'all were here last year, you know, she had a tropical hibiscus growing in the backyard that had this braided trunk. And she took it in. And her calico thought it made the most excellent scratching post and killed it. It's currently in my compost pile now. So she bought herself a new one. I talked her out of the purple magnolia for now, but we'll probably end up getting that next year. There's my plumerias from last year. And look, my chives are blooming. Isn't that cute? Okay, so this is that purple bonfire peach we planted last year. It's in a pot, so it's not going to get much bigger than this, hopefully. I thought I was going to have to thin it with all the flowers that were on there, but it seems to have thinned itself. But isn't that beautiful leaves? So as we get into the garden proper, please forgive me, there is still some weeding to be done. I did a bit when I got home, but my long beans are popping up. One of my melons here has sprouted. I only planted like half as many melons as I planted last year because we were just overwhelmed. And I'm spacing things a little more. Hopefully maybe I'll get bigger yields per plant and just have fewer plants. I'm not sure how that's going to work with the tomatoes because, you know, they got some damage. This is a cardinal basil. I propagated at a class last fall and kept it alive through the winter and planted it this year. I also have an African blue basil I need to get out in the ground, and then I'll propagate that again in the fall. A classmate gave that to me. I think she purchased it from her workplace because she is lucky enough to work in a greenhouse. And here's some more beans. I wasn't sure these were going to come in. This was these funky mottled beans that I got from a classmate, and I stuck them in the ground. They didn't sprout near as quickly as my little red beans, even though I put them in first, but they're here. So we'll see how those go. I have a few more if I need to fill in some space. This is a giant kale plant. I need to harvest off that. I've already informed people we're eating kale tomorrow. And I've got a volunteer basil right there. And I've got a few more basil plants planted. I'm going to do more basil than this. I might put it in some of these pots or grow bags I've got going. And my potatoes doubled in size while I was gone. So excited about that. I think my onions and garlic might need fertilizing though. They look awfully pale. This is the area under the apple tree. I went and put Cuban oregano there again. I'll probably propagate some in the fall to keep it alive over the winter. And then I've got my lemon balm and my lemon thyme. I killed the lemon mint, but I've ordered some orange mint. And I've got some comfrey there. But this is what I'm excited about. It's a self-pollinating apple, but it didn't produce anything last year. I didn't really expect it to. And it probably won't again this year. It's still too young, but it's still nice to see the flowers and the leaves cropping up. It's such a cute little tree. Here's my blueberries hiding under the asparagus. I need to move them somewhere where they'll get more sun. I don't expect anything off them this year. I just got them last fall. I need to add more soil, but it means buying some high acidic soil. I can't put them in the ground here. We have very alkaline soil here in Texas, which has been an interesting conversation with my wife, who wants hydrangeas and azaleas like she had at home. And she goes and she finds these blue and purple azaleas and puts them in the ground, or no, hydrangeas, and puts them in the ground, and then they turn dark pink. I'm probably going to have to figure out how to acidify the soil so that she can at least briefly enjoy some blue and purple hydrangeas. But the azaleas, I've had to say absolutely not. They'd have to go in a pot or something, and I'm not sure how well those do in pots. I've always lived in the DFW area, so I don't know what it'd be like to grow in more acidic soil. Look at my grapes. This is the red flame grape, and it's already putting on some little grapes. Over there is my Suffolk grape, I believe. It's also a red table grape, but it is very stunted because I had that sorrel hibiscus in front of it, a roselle hibiscus. I planted that in the front yard this year. I planted 3 of them. One of them I broke in the process of planting it, and it looks like someone has come through and lopped off the top of another one. So neither of my St. Kitts roselle hibiscus have survived, or at least the ones I kept. But I have a couple more of the others that I can replace them with. Just means I'm not going to see any flowers until late September. And then my muscadines are over here. This one I believe is the cowart, and that short one over there is the fry. The cowart is self-pollinating. The fry needs a pollinator, and the cowart works well for that. And this is my oregano that I've had a couple years. I'm not 100% sure what that is. I'm really hoping it's zinnias, because I threw zinnia seeds out here. These are some volunteer tomatoes. I don't know what variety they're going to be. We're just going to find out. This is a malakia. It's a Egyptian spinach. I was given a whole bunch of seeds of these, and I ended up wasting a few, but I managed to get a few plants growing. I still have a few more that I need to find homes for. And these are those red beans I planted, and I planted them with okra in amongst them. I'm not seeing the okra sprout just yet, and then there's my garlic, and that's going to get pulled soon, and I will probably fill it with more beans and okra. And when I pull the potatoes, that's going to be my indeterminate tomatoes. I know you're not supposed to do 2 nightshade sticks one after the other, but I have a small garden and I don't have a lot of choice. I'll throw out some diatomaceous earth and hope for the best. This magnificent thing is my lettuces. We're going to have salad this week, and some of it is already bolting, so it's going to be taken to some chickens. And these are peppers. Not exactly sure which variety, but I'll figure it out. More pepper, another pepper. This has eggplant over behind, kind of tucked in amongst the kale. And then this is ground cherry, and there's supposed to be a garden huckleberry over there, but I don't think either of those survived. But I have some more seeds I've started that should be ready to go out here in about a week. And then we've got a lot of little volunteer. Oh no, those are the zinnias I planted to kind of go between these. I'm pretty excited about that. And there's like 2 carrots tucked in back here. Of all those carrot seeds, I got 2. So we'll see how those go. Here's another pepper. Yes, I did buy more pepper plants. I wanted to make sure I had bell peppers because we need it for gumbo, and I wanted to make sure I had jalapenos for salsa. There's some weeds. I put a butternut squash and a torboncino. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. One of those funky looking squashes that's supposed to be resistant to the vine borers over here. We'll see what happens. There were some of my later seed sowing things, so I might not get anything. And then I've got tomatoes over here. I'm going to tuck in some Alabama lima beans in between them, I think. And I might try to tuck in some more tomatoes on the other side of the trellis, just because I can. And you see this? This is that Bells of Ireland that I had last year. and it's self-sowed itself in the middle of my pathway. So I'm going to have to put on some long sleeves and some gloves and dig that out. When I left from Louisiana 4 days ago, it was a tiny little thing, and I was like, oh, it can wait. And then I come home, it has tripled in size, maybe quadrupled, and it has flowers on it. I'm not sure if you can see those funky little flowers. I'll get over there in a little bit and show you. And then in these grow bags are French fingerling potatoes. I gave some of those away and still seem to have plenty here. As I get like a bag of potting soil down to like a half a bag, I come in and I start topping these off. I hope I have enough potting soil. I probably don't. I filled that grow bag so that I can put one of my Creole tomatoes in it. And let's go over to that side and show you some things. So here's some of the basil I planted. I really need more than this, so I'll like direct sow some out there. Here, so you get an idea of how much of that pathway that plant takes up. I'm gonna have to dig it out. I probably cannot salvage it, but I have another over here. And there's my Texas tarragon. Here's my French fingerling potatoes. And look, I have blackberry flowers already. These two plants are my Arapaho blackberries. They're supposed to be putting on berries in June. We're in early April right now and have flowers on here. I had an Arapaho in the past. We're not going to talk about the horrible woman who dug them up, thinking they were weeds. But my experience with these is that they all kind of matured right around the same time. I'm hoping if I get to about like 4 bushes, I can make a small batch of jelly. I'm air layering over here. And look at those things. Those petals are just so pretty. I really don't think I'm going to be waiting until June to see berries off this plant. And then there's this one here. This is the second one. And then I've got the Chester, I think, and the Triple Crown over here, probably planted too close together, but I've been trying to air layer out the Triple Crown a bit. And I think I'm going to put some peppers in this corner here, where my artichoke was supposed to be, and it died. But that'll give me space for like 2 or 3 of those. And that's all we've got going on so far. I've still got lots of things to plant, as you saw. And of course, there's the front yard, but that is, I'll be honest, everything is so newly planted out there, it's kind of chaotic. And I'm not sure I want to show it to you just yet. I'm hoping things will fill out over the next few weeks. But I am so excited about this red flame grape. I did not expect to see anything that might even resemble it trying to put on fruit. I don't know if it really will this year, but I've got lots of potential fruit, which has got me very excited. I almost forgot about my other acquisition from Louisiana. This big old bag is filled with pine straw. We acquired it from my spouse's cousin's yard. Well, okay, the back of their pickup truck, because all the needles had fallen into the pickup truck. We didn't have to bend down. We should have rake it into the bag. I think we're going to do this every time we go down, because we're there anyway, and this is cheaper than buying a bale of mulch, because yeah, I am that cheap.